Alright, this is our 05 Jimmy that we solid axle swapped, and I'm going to give you guys all an overview. So we deleted the ABS out of this thing. Used to be a big ABS box and bracket. Here we put in a proportioning valve. This is line in. This is also a line in. This is line out to the one of the front. These are the front right here. This is the back line. You can see the other brake line right here heading back. We got the custom bumper built by us. Custom cross member. No cross member from factory. We cut that out. There used to be A-arms here and down below here, but those are gone now. We got a Dana 35 in the front, 355 gearing. We got the stock steering kit, new brake calipers, stock Jimmy shocks. We just welded a homemade bracket on. Brake lines coming out here. We got some older Chevy Leafs from probably about the 70s. Got some custom U-bolts and custom U-bolt plates. Got the shackles here. They're a bit low. We might change that out eventually. Some Jeep rims and swap the tires over. Same thing back here, just a bit different. We have the stock leaf springs and leaf setup off the Jimmy itself. We welded on some shock mounts. We have drum back here, drum brakes. You can see the brake lines there. Custom U-bolts, used U-bolt plates. This is a Dana 30 axle. A swing arm helps a lot. You got the drive shaft with a universal joint, so it can fit from the Chevy drive shaft to the Jeep axle. Underneath we have the stock MP233 transfer case. The rear drive shaft is stock like before. The front drive shaft is a double cardan. And we had to swap out the stock spline for a fixed U-joint, so now that's good. Had to shorten that up a bit in order for the drive shaft to come through, because it used to be up here and it would clear it. This is a solid axle, so the drive shaft moves up and down. We just cut the middle out. They used to go from here to here, and then we put like an O. You can't really see it up there, but there's the top, and it comes down and around. Had to get the exhaust moved by a shop so it would clear the drive shaft. Does really well. As for the steering situation up in this thing, this right now is straight. I know it's supposed to be like that, but just had to do that with the way the steering box is. So you can see right there, straight. Crooked, so this is straight. It's not that bad to get used to. It doesn't wander much, so it's pretty good. You can let the steering wheel go and it'll stay in place. But as for the steering box we're running a two-wheel drive in-sphere steering box. Bring the steering rod from here out more, so then you'll have less tension on your whole steering system and you won't get things like bumps here. So yeah, overall this is a pretty tough setup. It'll be way tougher than the old wimpy IFS that was in here before. There's about 4 more inches of clearance between here. Used to have about this much. Now there's like double. Same with the back. It does have some trouble on the highway though, because these leaf springs are old and clapped out. They probably need new bushings, so whenever you hit a bump it like wobbles. But it's still better than having old IFS. It's wimpy. This is a lot tougher. The front end on this machine looks pretty good. You can see the nice bumper we built. I don't want to show too much because there's a license plate on it, but obviously. But as you can see, this is a pretty beefy setup with the new cross member right here. And the shackle holders coming down look pretty clean. It all looks pretty nice. One thing that might happen in the future is new leaf springs, because this shackle is hanging so low to the ground and that's just gonna drag on stuff. So we might lift it up higher, might lift it another few inches, block up the back. But yeah, this is the only problem, is this shackle almost hitting the ground. Other than that, this thing is a nice off-road truck, I should say. Served us well. It's got a good reliable engine. the V6 4.3 Vortec. Never had an engine problem with this thing. It's been great. The diffs are 355, so we went from 375 down to 355. 375 was the stock gearing with the IFS, which was lower. So if we do put bigger tires, these are 29-inch tires right now. If we do put bigger tires on it, it might be a bit much for the diff, but you could probably fit some 33s on it. 35s might be a bit hard on it. Might snap an axle, but throw her in 4 low and you'll be good.